Good morning. This is George Sanders. Straight talk, as usual. I like to come and give you an update on stuff that I deem that's necessary that you as citizens here in the Littleton should have to know about as to what's going on with your government. And I'm taking this opportunity to once again bring you some straight information with regards to what I know and what I've checked out. First of all, I hope to have a guest in the future here to come on Straight Talk and give you information about the article that on the orchard, on the apple orchard that was turned down and given the select board the authority to sell. I spoke with the chief assessor, and I can tell you that I guess the total amount of land over there is something like 90 acres, and they're wanting to sell 49.2 acres of that land. And doing so, she explained a lot of things like that land, the house over there, it's a liability. It has caused the town to spend approximately $1 million more in insurance coverage because that place is a liability to the town over there, the way it sits right now. And I think that the long or the short of it is, I think the working committee that came up with the conclusion that the town should sell it and not lease it. Leasing is what has happened in the past, and the person stayed there for a period of time and then they left, and you don't know with a lease, someone decided that, oh, this is not working, I want to get, termination of this lease, and here you go back and you're right back to the same spot that you started before. So the thing to do is to sell it. Why? It is important that the town realize that they don't have the money to maintain that piece of property over there. And right now, if you took the dead trees out, I'm under the understanding that someone has checked that out and it cost the town $300,000. So that's a lot of money. So you take the trees out and you're still left with the problem. So the best thing would be is to sell the land at a reasonable price, and taking in consideration the house over there, it has mold in it. So that means that to go and take the mold out of that, you're probably talking about $1 million just to clean that house up where you could put it in condition. Well, that again is throwing money away, and you still got the same problem, getting rid of the property. So the best thing to do is give a disclosure of what is going on over there with regards to the house, the mold and so forth, and go ahead and put it up for sale. And the town is not in the business of real estate. They're not in the business of managing and renting land out, to be truthful with you, because we don't have any experts on these boards that knows what should be done and what shouldn't be done. So let's go ahead and sell that portion of it. And you still got, almost 50 acres of land that's still over there that you don't have to worry about. And whoever buys it, it's going to be in 61A. You have the protection on it that some type of agriculture has to take place with the land, whoever they sell it to. But the difference is renting it, leasing it, or selling it. And if you sell it, you don't have to worry about anything else. You don't have to worry about the building over there. You don't have to worry about anything over there. All you do is collect the taxes from it based on the fact that it's in 61A. And, that's a situation that, needs to be rendered here. And I say in November at the town meeting, we should give the select board, and they should come forth and make the decision and see if they can get a buyer to take on this property. And the buyer will get a good rate because they get these number of acres of land, and they could do whatever they want to with it at that point in time. So we get rid of the increase of the cost on the town insurance for liability, which keeps going up every year. And I know my own personal insurance has went up, so I'm sure that the town insurance is going up. And when you have things that libel against the town, then you got to pay more money to protect it. And that's something that, we're throwing good money against a bad situation. So let's come together here in Littleton and get rid of that. Now, the thing that I want to talk to you about further is with regards to the marijuana smell at the sanctuary over the Taylor Street area over there. Well, I want you to know that because the bylaw, if you've seen the meeting on July the 15th, I spoke at the town select board meeting, and I was really amazed at the fact that the select board recognizes that and acknowledges that there's a problem in that area. But nevertheless, they seem not to be concerned enough with what's going on with this, or what's been going on with the smell over there. And I really was disappointed that they was unwilling to go forth and even ask the authorities to come in, look at, check, monitor, or whatever the case is about what's going on over there with regards to this smell. So I taken the liberty, and you will note if you watch that meeting on the 15th, I told them that I would take it right, because I deem that you are entitled to know what is going on and what the risks are, and whether or not your health and well-being is at risk. What is the short, long-term duration effect of smelling this marijuana all this time upon you as a citizen? Now, we have a lot of elder people that live in the area over there. In that particular segment of the community, we should know what's going on over there. Under the Clean Air Act, you are entitled to have your health and well-being being protected by polluters not putting more pollutants into the atmosphere than the law says that they're allowed to do. We don't know how much is being put in over there now. We don't know what the effects of this, of smelling this and breathing this in. What about people that have asthma? What about the people that have lung problem, heart problem? What about the children, the babies? What about people just in general, breathing this stuff in? We don't know what's going on here. And I think that there's a need to find out what is going on. In order to do that, you have to ask for help. You don't ask, you don't receive. And the thing is, I'm a little disturbed that the select board rather sit on thy hand than to do something. But that's exactly what I called them out about and told them. Here's the letter here, 4 pages, that I sent to the Cannabis Control Commission in Worcester. I sent it to the Mass DEP Central Regional Office in Worcester, which is the Bureau of Air and Waste. And I sent it to EPA, New England Region 1, and asking them and telling them what is going on in a segment of Littleton with this sanctuary polluting the air with raw and cooked smells of marijuana. Now, the thing that's important here is that you have to tell people what the problem is in order to try to resolve whatever the problem is that's going on. Nothing will get done unless someone steps up and speak to the authorities and tell the authorities what is going on. I sent this letter out last Friday. On Monday, I checked my mail and I received a letter, I received the email from the Cannabis Control Commission, the CCC, I call them the 3 C's. And they told me that they had acknowledged the fact that they received the letter. They are passing the letter over to the appropriate authorities to look into this matter. And they also will get back to me if they need some additional information, and that I could contact them at this email address at any time. That's very quick to get a response from the state. You mail it on Friday, and you get a response on Monday. So at least someone is taking heed to what is going on and have a great concern about what is going on, because normally they don't react that quick about something. And I sort of kind of pointed out in the letter there and telling them that, they have an obligation. The state and the feds under the Clean Air Act, they have an obligation to protect. And I find that, which I pointed out, I could not let the CCC escape, because as it stands right now, I couldn't find anything where they had any control whatsoever about this industry with regards to the smell that is produced from either cutting or cooking the marijuana product. So I feel that the CCC has a responsibility too to ensure that the producers are not putting more pollutant in the air than it is required by law. But we don't know that because nobody is monitoring that. Nobody is telling us what is going on with that. And that's why I come to you today to point out to you that I know that I put this petition in, and of course the lawyer said that it needed more work done on that bylaw. And when I go before the selectmen, they say, well, I'm not sure if there's a need for a bylaw, for that, and how much, it's going to cost to put in, which I talk about the negative air pressure system to take care of the smell and run it through the carbon charcoal filter system to get rid of the smell. And they're saying, well, how much is it going to cost the producers to put this in place? If it's too much, the government is going to say, oh, no, we can't make them do that because it's too costly. Why are they so concerned in defending? This is the select board. Why are they so concerned in defending the producers and not you, the citizen? It doesn't make sense. They sit on their hand and then talk hypothetical situation and try to justify why. And I'll tell you another thing, that I think that if you got a producer that got a problem or whatever, they should bring it to the select board or the planning board as a body, and not pick out individuals to call and tell about this or that. And you on the select board, in my determination, it's a conflict of interest when you take on one of these producers out there and listen to what they got to say and try to justify before the board, telling that, oh, this person did that, or they did that, or we got someone that, is speaking loud, or they're concerned, or they, holler, so that's what, but this person has did this, talking about this person being the producer. Well, I find that's a conflict of interest. You as an individual need to stay away from conflict of interest situations. And I'm primarily pointing to the select board. If a producer got a problem, let him file the complaint with the select board as a whole, not individuals on the select board. As far as I'm concerned, that's a no-no. And when I hear you speak, you don't speak about doing something to protect the citizens that are being affected with this. Who do you work for, the producers, or do you work for the citizens of the town of Littleton? I call it like I see it. And I'm telling you, you can't do nothing for the citizen. I don't know why you want to sit and speak for the defenders, the producers. It's high time that the select board take a stand. You are the head of the government of the town of Littleton. To not want to act on a situation that is in this town, I collected almost 30 signatures and probably could have collected most signatures on that when I put the petition in. Whether it's 1, 2, or 30 people, or 50 or 200, it should matter to the select board because you're the highest element in this town and you should be dealing with this situation. It is not beating up on you. It's just telling you the facts. And for that planning board, let me tell you one thing. You cannot let an applicant do a self-evaluation of a problem and turn around and tell you it's solved. And then you turn around and issue them a permit to expand their facility. Why do you think they're expanding the facility? Increase the growth. That's what they're doing. It is high time that we stand up as citizens and let our boards, committees, and so forth know, listen, you need to be doing the right thing and trying to protect the well-being, and especially when you got a problem here. This problem been going on for quite some time over there. And I tell you, the buck get passed. You know how the buck get passed? The people complain. They've asked, who do we go to complain? They complain to the select board. Select board said, go to the building inspector. The building inspector said, oh, go to the health board inspectors. And the health board said, well, check with the planning board or the select board. Where do we send this? It just goes around in a vicious circle of not doing anything. Well, we don't enforce this or we don't enforce that. Well, who enforces it? Well, it should be this or it should be that. But nobody's willing to look into the problem and find out what's what, or who should be doing what. Or is there a harm by breathing in the smell of this marijuana downwind? You don't even know that. And nobody in this town knows it. But more especially, for the planning board, you gave another permit to expand on the sanctuary road there, 234 Taylor Street. I sent you a letter and asked for a peer review to say that the problem of the marijuana that was currently going on, by what they said that they was going to do, would resolve the smell of the marijuana. You say you couldn't find anybody. How hard did you try? But yet instead, you let them come in and tell you that it will work, and you was unwilling to put a restriction of a time frame on the permit of expansion over there to allow them to come back and give you data and let the people in the area say, oh, if the case was that, oh, we don't smell the marijuana anyway. Okay, fine. Nobody has a problem. Go forth with the expansion of your operation over there. You solved that problem. But no, that's not what happened. You gave it to them unrestricted with any time frame to do. We got some people on that board that maybe it's time for you to step down and get off of that board. And get some people on that board that's going to care about the people in the town of Littleton. It's just common sense to me that if you care, you would do something. And I wouldn't be sitting down here saying what you're not doing based on what you should be doing. If you're not willing to serve on the board in the best interest of this town and the citizens of this town, you shouldn't be on there. You shouldn't get on there. You should step aside and let somebody that's willing to do it. But where there's a problem, I found an issue with the planning board issuing a permit, letting the applicant come in and tell you they resolved the problem and it hasn't been checked, and you didn't give them a certain period of time to be able to prove to you that it was done or it works. That doesn't make sense. And when you bring things of asking the people at the town meeting to extend or approve a bylaw, the only one that I find that was legit that you worked to do a good job on was the MBTA. Because they were going to take away monies that the town was rightfully due if we didn't pass it. That's why I strongly support and ask the people to pass that, because that was deemed necessary for us to continue to receive grant money and so forth in the state of Massachusetts here. But I tell you, I keep the eye on the ball. And I said to the people, and I will speak at the town meeting, when I deem that you're not doing what you should be doing and helping the people, we should turn it down and make you go back. Now the thing that they got now is on the marijuana, on the host agreement. They got a certain time now that they're going to have it in place and approve. This is with the select board. And I mentioned to the select board, there ought to be some sort of control in this host agreement to ensure that the applicant does not pollute above the requirement that the law says that you can in that host agreement. I was told that, oh, you can't put those kind of things in there. You know what you do? Why don't you ask? Why don't you ask before you jump up and say, no, you can't do it? Or show me in black and white where it says, no, you can't do this. You need to get off of your hands and write and ask. Seek and you shall find. I do not appreciate the fact that when you hypothetically come up and justify why African should be able to get this, and you not do anything to protect the environment. Maybe people on the select board and the planning board should look a little closer to the Clean Air Act that was passed in 1990. It's still active today. This is what you're required to do. You cannot just arbitrarily just put stuff, pollutants in the air. You have to ensure that you do not go above the standard that they say you can put in the air. And right now, we don't know what they're putting in the air that's coming out from a sanctuary on 234 Taylor Street over there. We know that the people are complaining about it. At least I take the initiative. I don't just talk the talk. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. If I don't know, I know how to seek. I know how to go and ask. And it doesn't sit well with me when I hear the planning board or the select board tell us, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that. Where is it that it says that you can't do it? Oh, but they said that, no. You need to do a better job in communicating with the people and telling us what's going down. And I don't find that the select board has done that. Neither the planning board. When you give a permit and you're unwilling to put restriction on it to allow the applicant to prove when they did a self-evaluation on themselves, telling you that it was solved. It's solved or resolved, but you know what? You have no data to say it, but you gave them the permit. You don't have to like what I say, because I'm going to say it irregardless. I put a lot of effort into doing what I do. I don't want none of your jobs. I just think that you ought to do right by the people. You made the choice to run and to serve. And I would think that you would do it to the best of your ability. There's nothing more that we can ask of you as a citizen. But when you don't step forth and put your best foot forward, then I have a problem. And I'm willing to take any of your own on that planning board or the select board. You may disagree with me, and you're entitled to that, and I'll respect that. But when you're not willing to go out and seek help for a problem that citizen or a citizen has brought to your attention, then you're neglecting your responsibility as a select person or a planning person in doing your job and ensuring the health and well-being of the citizen here in the town of Littleton. I want to thank you for the opportunity to come forth and speak to you on a matter that's very dear to my heart in terms of not wanting to protect the well-being of citizens here in the town of Littleton. And I will ask the producer to put up, I think it's 6 questions that I put up, or I put forth about the situation here in Littleton that you as citizens deserve an answer to, and I would hope that we get some answers from the state and from the federal government with regards to those 6 questions. I asked them to send someone down here and explain to you and let you know, is your health at risk here with regards to this smell of marijuana? And one of the questions I asked them was that if the town and nobody else was willing to do anything, could you as a citizen file a complaint with the CCC, the DEP, and the EPA? I know the answer. The answer is yes. But I'm more concerned about what is in the air from this smell of the pollutant of this smell of marijuana that you're breathing in downwind. And with that, I want to say thank you very much. Have a good day. God bless you. And I'll see you in the soon.